I refuse to share my dinner with 2 children. My boyfriend Albert has this sister who just shows up whenever she wants. No call, no text, just her car pulling up right around dinner time with her 2 kids in tow. At first I didn't mind. I'd make extra pasta or throw some chicken nuggets in the oven, but then it became every single week, sometimes twice a week. And she never brought anything, not even a bag of chips. Her kids are 7 and 9, and they're not bad kids, but she lets them do whatever they want. They open cabinets and take stuff out to play with. They've taken my hair extensions, my good lotion, those little shampoo bottles I collect from hotels. One time I spent 20 minutes looking for my phone charger and found it in their backpack because the boy wanted to see if it fit his mom's phone. When I told Albert we needed to set boundaries, he just shrugged and said family doesn't need permission to visit. His sister doesn't work a regular job anymore. She used to teach at a beauty school, but now she just does nails sometimes and complains about her ex-husband. She has her own apartment, her own car, food in her fridge, but she still shows up at our place like it's a free restaurant. And Albert never says no. Even after his hours got cut at work and I started paying most of our bills, he still let her rate our groceries like she was entitled to it. Last week, her son grabbed some party snappers from our kitchen drawer without asking. They're those little firework things that pop when you throw them on the ground. A few fell and made this loud cracking sound and he started crying because he got embarrassed. I didn't comfort him because honestly, he shouldn't have been going through our drawers in the first place. I just stood there and asked Albert to please talk to his sister about her kids touching our stuff. He said he would, but I know he didn't. The whole situation was making me miserable. I work from home some days and go to client offices other days, and I've been getting home after 8 p.m. most nights. I'm exhausted. I'm paying for almost everything now, and I still have to deal with surprise visitors eating our food and their kids going through my things. I even put a lock on my office door because I think his sister has been using my printer when I'm not home. I found paper moved around and the ink level was way lower than it should have been. Friday night, Albert went bowling with his friends. Before he left, I told him I wanted a quiet evening alone. No visitors, no drama, just me and some peace. He said okay and left around 6. I got home at 7 and picked up a seafood boil on the way. Crab legs, shrimp, corn, potatoes, all that good stuff. I was so excited to just sit on my couch and eat without anyone bothering me. I had barely sat down when I heard a car door slam outside, then knocking. I looked through the window and saw his sister's car in the driveway. I opened the door and she said her daughter left her backpack here and needed it for something the next morning. Fine, I said, and went to grab it from the coat closet. But her son had already pushed past me into the house and saw my food on the coffee table. He started pointing at the crab legs and saying he wanted some. I told him sorry, but that's my dinner. He asked again. I said no, it's mine. I'm really tired and I just want to eat my food. That's when he started crying. Not just normal crying, but full-on screaming and stomping his feet. He kept yelling at his mom that he wanted the crab legs. His mom just stood in the doorway not doing anything. I grabbed the backpack and walked it over to her and said, I'm sorry, but I'm not sharing tonight. Her son was still screaming. I gently moved them toward the door and closed it behind them, but they didn't leave. He stood outside my front door crying for 5 whole minutes while she sat in her car trying to get him to come with her. I could hear everything. I pulled down the window shutters and tried to ignore it, but the crying just kept going. When Albert got home later that night, his face looked disgusted. He said he couldn't believe how I treated his family, that I embarrassed his nephew, that I was selfish and cruel. I tried to explain that I was exhausted, that I paid for that food with money I earned working 2 jobs to cover his bills, that his sister shows up uninvited constantly. He didn't want to hear it. He said family shares, and I obviously didn't understand that. It's been 4 days now and he still won't talk to me out loud.